all right, move our stream to the point where we couldn't even figure out what the fuck happened until I went in.
Yeah.
Turns out, apparently, if you watch ASDF videos, now that I know that I won't be watching them, that if you watch them, you get a copyright strike. And if you get a copyright strike, for some reason, they take down your live stream without even contacting you first or notifying you. They just, boop, gone. It's like, okay, then what's the fucking point of live streaming if you won't let us fucking do this?
Yeah.
And I'm going to take this time to shit on YouTube. Fuck you, YouTube. Really? You're going to be that fucking prissy about people watching other people's content for their own content? It's like, come on. It's getting ridiculous where, God forbid, you have a split second of a song in the video or a split second of fucking Disney in your fucking intro because you're trying to explain something. It just doesn't make any sense anymore at this point. As far as I can tell, you've made it to where companies and other people can exploit this fucking copyright issue to where all they have to do is set the algorithm to automatically strike a video or make sure that that video gives them money. They're incentivized to make sure that that happens because us as content creators, if we, God forbid, step on the wrong foot or toe, whatever the fuck you want to say, if we step on the wrong person or content, suddenly our shit gets taken down and we don't get notified because we're small, for one. But if we do that on TikTok, all I had to say was, this is fine. They would review it and they would immediately upload it. So it's like, there is nothing as far as YouTube goes that I can do that. I can't see like, well, I need a manual review or I need someone else to review this, review this so that, maybe our content is fine. It's just your algorithm struck us because it's being a bit of a bitch. But you won't get that if you're like our fucking channel, which we're tiny, so no one's gonna hear this anyway. But
Yeah.
we're a tiny channel. Like I've heard even larger YouTubers have this problem if they're not really seen as like in the popular spotlight. Like Jacksepticeye doesn't really have this problem. Markiplier doesn't really have this problem. Pewds
Yeah.
probably doesn't have this problem. But there are some lower level YouTubers that have this problem where they get their video striked for no reason or flagged for no apparent reason. If it's flagged by enough people, regardless of what the issue is, it gets taken down without any oversight first. It's like, either make it to where all the content is accessible to everyone, or I just don't. What do you want us to do at this point? It's like, we don't make any money off of the ads. You make all the money off of the ads. So if there's a copyright somewhere, you're still making money off of the ads, YouTube. And even then, let's say it's copyright strike, all of the revenue that will eventually come of the videos that we do will go to the person that you've claimed we've copyrighted. It's like, what's the fucking point at this? Like, what can we possibly fucking do?
Yeah.
As a channel, it's like, we got to worry about tiptoeing about what we say. We got to worry about tiptoeing about what we show or like what we watch, because God forbid we watch, I don't know, what was it, like 10 minutes of this ASDF. We watched 10 minutes of it. Now that 1 hour and 14 minutes is gone, just like that. It's like, okay, so because of 10-minute segment, and it's worse than that. For some people, it's a 10-second segment of someone saying the wrong thing, and suddenly that video is taken down. When it's a 3-hour-long video, like with Joe Rogan's podcast, fuck me. Joe Rogan's podcast got taken down a couple times because of a 10-second segment, or it wasn't monetized because of a 10-second segment when the entire show is 3 hours long. It's like, come on, this is ridiculous at this point. And it.
Shout out to Joe Rogan too.
Yeah, I know.
I like that guy.
Yeah,
He's cool.
Too. But it's not really fair, and I think that someone aside from YouTube, someone, I don't know who, needs to step in and basically stop this from happening, because it's incentivized for YouTube to do this. If they strike our video or demonetize our video, guess who makes all of the money off of that video? YouTube. So how can you let the person who would be incentivized to do that, to take action against us, to wield that power? That doesn't make any sense. It would be like handing criminals the ability to decide which person gets to go to jail. It's like, well, they're kind of incentivized on that. They don't want to go to jail, but they may want other people to go to jail so they can rob them or whatever the fuck they want to do. It's like, you don't give someone that power to do that shit. And I understand it's their platform. It's their advertisers. They worked on all of that. I understand that. But as far as I can tell, there's an agreement between creators, content creators, and YouTube. If YouTube decides not to pay their content creators anymore, their content creators go away. Bit of an echo. I think it's because of your headset.
it's probably because of mine.
So they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. I'm sure YouTube would love not to pay any of their content creators. None of them.
Oh, yeah.
But they can't because that's the only reason people are coming. And if you have nice, and if you have enough content creators go off of the platform, then you lose all of your viewers, you lose all of your ad revenue. So this is a cheap way of doing this shit. Yeah. It's really not fair at this point to give that much power to one company to make that decision on what is demonetized and what's not, because I can pretty much guarantee you that every fucking ad or advertiser doesn't give a shit if someone cusses. They don't give a shit if whether or not they have dark humor. They don't give a shit. Why in the fuck would you use them as a defense? The amount of fucking commercials that I've seen on like fucking Adult Swim, it's like they don't give a shit. They just want to make money. If you have an audience that's watching, they can make more money off the advertising. They don't care what you fucking say. You're hiding behind advertisers as a way to give yourself more money. Congratulations, YouTube. You're a corporate fucking hellhole that only cares about getting money for yourself. That's it. And everyone sees through it. It's like, oh, we care about people. No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
It's YouTube.
No, you don't care about yourself.
They don't care
Really,
about
the only
nothing.
content that you have to make sure that's not uploaded is any kind of abuse against children or any kind of death that is observable. I understand that with YouTube being YouTube. Don't get me wrong, YouTube's messed up multiple times. I, at the age of 12, saw a pig get slaughtered. No, I was probably like 9.
Okay, but it's an animal.
And then 2 months later, I saw someone's head get chopped off. It's like, YouTube, you kind of used to be the wild west on this one. I do understand with that content, not making sure that it gets out there.
Yeah.
But you're going way too far with this. This is fucking ridiculous.
I mean, you could find a lot of shit that's not banned from YouTube. You
can literally watch 2 grown men, gay men, play dick or dildo, where they actually show everything. But God forbid you say the wrong political thing. I'm not watching it. I just know because of the political things that I watch. So you won't ban that. But you will ban people talking against groomers, or the word groomers. People who influence children in such a way to try to get them to make certain sexual decisions about their lives that make them a little bit more corruptible in a way that you can take advantage of them sexually. That's what a groomer is. And all of these teachers that are teaching kids all of this pornographic material, they're groomers. But God forbid I say that, I can be taken off of YouTube. But no, I can show my dick or dildo, play a game. As long as I say I'm gay or a part of a marginalized community, that's totally fine. YouTube won't take it down. The rules are not being applied equally at this point, and to be honest, I don't even know if I want to stream on YouTube anymore. That's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. I know Rumble's a little bit better when it comes to the censoring motive, but I also understand that there's not a lot of people on it, or at least not as many people on it right now. I think it'll eventually become more popular because people are tired of this bullshit on YouTube. It's just gotten ridiculous. And not only that, I don't know from experience, but the amount of ads that they keep putting in for a video is ridiculous. It's like, okay, you should watch one ad at the beginning, one ad at the end. Let me sit through 7 fucking unskippable ads before I can watch a 10-minute long video.
Yeah.
You're becoming like cable TV. And you know what happened to cable TV? They became dinosaurs. No one watches cable TV anymore. It's all streaming platforms. YouTube, you're becoming cable TV. You're not being the next Netflix. You're just the next corporate shill that only cares about the dollars that they bring in. Netflix is the same way. But it's ridiculous. How many ads? Don't get me wrong, I have an ad blocker for a reason, because I like to enjoy watching my videos without ads popping in every fucking 10 minutes, making sure that I get distracted off of the content I was listening to. So by the time I come back in, I was like, where was I? What's going on? Like, you have so many ads. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's like some of them, they're like a minute long and you can't skip it. It's like, why?
That's why I have an ad block, because at this
Yeah.
point,
Some of them are
YouTube
very
has
entertaining, though. I
got to
will
be
say.
making so much fucking money off of these ads,
Oh, yeah.
and they only pay their content creators. I can't remember what it is. It's not a high percentage, even though the content creators are the one that they're coming
Getting
up
it
with the
out of
idea
there.
for a video. They're shooting the video. They're editing the video. They're making all the thumbnails. They're making their videos watchable, and then they post it on your software platform. You do nothing other than provide the platform. You're taking so much fucking money from them. It's like they're the ones making sure that you can even make money in the first place. I don't understand why their cut is so fucking steep, other than the fact that it costs a lot of money to have that much bandwidth, to have that much storage of all of these videos. I understand that that's expensive, but you still don't have to charge or take from content creators so much fucking money, because you're just disincentivizing them of making more videos, which means you take in less revenue. And if you keep banning random people for the stupidest fucking reasons, more and more people are going to leave. And guess what, YouTube? You're going to become completely irrelevant probably in the next 10 years. I project that. I think YouTube is just going to be one of those things where people are like, "How you remember that?" Like MySpace. It's like, "How you remember that?" Yeah, yeah. They kind of went down the wrong turn there at the, early 2010s. They started going down the wrong way because Google bought them out and they started to become
Yeah.
a
Did you
Google
know,
company.
The wife of the guy in charge of Google, or someone in that corporate, one of the high that owns, I think it's owns Google, also owns YouTube. And they're a married couple.
You mean Susan Wojcicki?
I think so. They're a married couple, and
I don't think they are. I'll have to look it up, but I don't think they
I don't know
are.
if it's the creator.
I think it's Ajit Pai or something. No,
It's
that's the
someone
wrong guy.
very high up in both industries. Like,
Wojcicki, and of course,
is she the owner of?
how the fuck do people spell that? Polish American.
Does she have black eyes in that?
I don't know.
Yeah, she does. She's
Her
evil.
spouse is Dennis Trooper. Executive. Is a director of product for Wear OS by Google. So it's the Google Watch.
Hmm.
So that's what he's in charge of. Interesting.
Yeah.
So they both basically have a lot of money.
Mhm.
And they don't make the decisions. All the decisions made by any company are made behind the scenes. Almost all of them. So don't think that the CEO has a lot of the pull, because they only own a small percentage of the company and they're only put out as a figurehead of the company. Elon Musk, for example, with Tesla. As far as I know, he doesn't actually own the majority of the stock anymore. I'll have to look again. Not Twitter. Almost. He's getting there with Twitter. He has 155 million shares, but what percentage of that is that? I know he may have the majority, but it's not by that much. And he's not a good example. The best example was the previous CEO of Twitter. He owned 9% of the company.
Do you think he's gonna be the first trillionaire?
No, I don't think so. I think he's making really dumb decisions.
Mm.
And because of those dumb decisions, and he can make them, I think buying Twitter is not going to help him. I think his exploration of Mars is not going to be as profitable as he
he's
projects.
Just bored.
I think he is too.
He's just doing whatever comes to his mind.
And not only that, but the powers that be do not want him to become any richer. They don't want him to become any more powerful, because they want to control everybody, and he's not one that is easily controlled. So
yeah,
I mean, you can even tell with it was recently brought to my attention. Hold on.
Yeah, but I mean, money talks, and he's got. Isn't he the richest man in the world?
Yep.
Elon Musk.
Yep. Let's just look at the top electric vehicles, right?
Yeah.
You would imagine that Tesla's at the top, right? No.
Chevy?
There's not a single Tesla in here. Even though Tesla is one of the first, has the longest range with almost all of their vehicles, and has almost all of the adaptability of the electric vehicle because they're the first, they're not anywhere on this list. You can tell just by all of this shit that they don't like Elon Musk. If you have, okay, that's number 20. Let me go to number 1. If they're realistic, they would say the Model 3 because it's the most sold. Porsche Taycan, kind of agree. It's kind of nice car, but I wouldn't put it at number 1 because the amount of people that can actually purchase a Porsche Taycan.
Very small.
They have very small wieners, indeed. So it shouldn't be the number 1 electric vehicle because it doesn't have the max range. Even if you're talking about max range, you'd be talking about the Lucid Air. There, Tesla Model 3. At least they're somewhat unbiased. Yeah. I did see that one recently.
What the fuck?
I've never seen the Honda E because we don't have it. That's a European, I believe.
No.
There's the Model Y. Ford Mustang. Someone put the Ford Mustang Mach-E at the very top, and the reason for it is, oh, it's just, the looks and the seats, and it's like
it's ugly as fuck.
No one gives a shit about all of that. All they care about is how far can it go when I charge it up fully, how long does it take to charge up fully, and maybe how does it drive. That's it. That's what most people are focused on. Is it a day-to-day driver? The Mustang Mach-E is a big disappointment in my mind. It is a Ford Edge that they tried to make look like a Mustang, but it looks like nothing compared to the Mustang. It's just ugly. They use the Mustang name to hopefully try to propagate an electric vehicle. You didn't have to, Ford. You have an electric vehicle, people are already going to be drawn to it. Just call it something different, like with the Ford Lightning or Ford F-150 Lightning. You didn't bring about a previous, I think actually the Lightning was a model trim, but you didn't bring about a previous model that already exists and put it in a completely different platform. That's like taking the Slug Bug and making it a full-size family SUV or a truck. It's like no one... Although there are some people that probably want a Volkswagen Beetle bus.
Yo, I'm one of those people. Like the
or not bus, but the truck. Sorry. Yeah. But no one thought, Mustang. You know what would make it good? Make it electric. Take the V8 sound out of it. Everything that everyone ever wanted. Make it an SUV. Wait, what? You want to make a fucking muscle car into an SUV? Oh, that's strange. And electric? Fuck you. And make it look nothing like the Mustang other than the rear taillights. It's like, okay, not a Mustang.
Shitty job at that.
I just call it the Mach-E. Polestar 2, that one actually has quite a range, but most of these. But you can tell that that's why. It's Top Gear. They're a little bit more objective. Motor Trend. Let's do Motor Trend. Oh, there we go. Motor Trend's being at least, they're probably doing it based off of how many sales they get per year, as well as, satisfaction rating. I don't exactly agree with this list. But Tesla Model 3 would be the top one because it's the most affordable one that's, doesn't only go 100 miles. Because a lot of the lower level electric vehicles, so like the Fiat 500e, ugly ass car, Volkswagen Golf E, or the I think Ford made an electric Focus. Like all of these cars, their max range is just under 100 miles. It's like, I'm not going to buy a $10,000 vehicle that can only go 100 miles. I don't live in the city, so it doesn't make sense to me. And it doesn't make sense to most people. Most people are looking for a car, even if it is a gasoline vehicle, that goes at least about 400 miles. Mm-hmm. Because if you're going on a road trip, which some people do, like myself, if you're going on a road trip, you don't want to stop every hour to get gas. It's just not fun. It's not fun because you don't get to enjoy the road. You got to stop every fucking hour, and every day is extended because you have to stop at a gas station so frequently. What's nice about my car is 1 10-hour day I stopped once for gas, and then I had to stop at the very end of our trip. So it's like one in between, and then once we got to our destination. Because that 400, actually I believe I was close to 460 miles on that trip. 460 miles on a single tank is beautiful. I don't know why most car makers just don't make the gas tank a little bit bigger. It just needs to be a little bit bigger. I understand why they don't make it massive, because gas does have an expiration date. So you don't want to make it to where it's like a 50-gallon tank in my car, because then you can go 2,000 miles. It's like, gas is probably going to go bad by the time, and you're going to gum up all of your injectors. But Yeah, but no, they don't like Elon Musk right now, so I don't know if whether or not he'd be a trillionaire. And I think he's kind of spending his money more than he's really taking anything in. A lot of what he is worth now is a lot less because stock market's crashing.
Well, he's like doing like an underground system in
Boring
California
company, yeah, yeah. I don't know if
for
he's
traffic.
still continuing that.
Yeah, but
I don't know if he's continuing that. But what most people don't understand is these ultra rich billionaire richest men alive, they don't actually have that much money on them.
yeah,
They have a lot of assets. They have a lot of stock. They have a lot of real estate. They own a lot, so their net worth is high. The amount of money that they carry on their person may still be a lot of money, but it's nowhere near the billions of dollars that they have in their net worth. I would say most of them probably carry around with them at any given time about 10 grand, maybe 20 grand, and then they can just, fill that up whenever they want to. But
yeah, but still, I mean,
they're not carrying around billions of dollars on them at all times.
still 20 grand.
I mean, I have that in my bank account right now, so it's not that much money.
Okay,
I just
but,
can't.
like,
I can't
like, just
refill
spending,
it.
just like spending, just like
I don't know.
I'm
20
gonna-
grand to them is
20
like spending
grand.
$20 to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, probably
Roughly.
actually more like $5 for them.
Mm.
You're talking billions of dollars. That's 1,000 million. And because he has 100 billion, that's what 100,000 millions.
It's crazy to think about. Is like rich people could just go into a Walmart, buy every single item, and still just like be like,
They could buy the store and still be fine.
it's like, but if I were to buy, about, let's say about 20 groceries and everything, and I'm looking at my bank account being like,
I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
yeah, basically, it's
I
like,
hate this shit.
oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it till my next paycheck, because now everything's so goddamn expensive.
I was trying to remember the amount of money. There's a certain amount of money in which happiness and the amount of money correlate, and then it stops.
Mm-hmm.
And you just keep increasing money and your happiness stays the same. I think it's like $80,000. And the reason is in order to meet your basic needs in life, you have to make about $80,000 for maybe your basic needs as well as someone else's. But if you have all your basic needs met, and as you meet those basic needs, your happiness goes up. But the second you get past those basic needs, your happiness doesn't go up the more money you get. And in most cases, people, being how people are, the more money you get, the more money you want. It's a vicious cycle where I want more money. It's like you're worth, let's say someone's worth like $200 million. You could spend $1 million, let's say a month, and still be fine for a few years. It's like you're fine. Not only that, but the things that people that are that rich, what they spend it on, they will get more money from. Like real estate. Like if I had $200 million, I could spend $1 million on multiple houses and then renovate them to the point where I can resell them. It's like you own assets. You own something that's worth value as you get more rich. Because you can buy things that have value instead of purchasing stuff like food where the second you eat it, that value's gone.
I mean, my kind of plan is to buy a trailer, or not a
Trailer park boys.
kind of like a trailer park home. But-
Mobile home.
Yeah, mobile home. And then live there, pay it off. And then move out, but still have that, and then rent it.
The only problem with mobile homes, if you're doing it in like one of those communities with mobile homes, is you still have to pay a lease for the land,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous. It's like $800 right now. It's like, okay, I own the house, right? But I'm still paying $800. It's like,
Yeah.
I could find a place to rent for $800. Why the fuck would I?
Well,
Okay, I can find a shitty place to rent for $800. But when you're talking about mobile homes, it's
that's
not much
still
different.
pushing it. Though $800 is like,
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
true. Whenever my
really?
wife and I looked, that was a while ago.
dude, like, because I'm looking to move out in the cheapest option for a 2-bedroom apartment.
You're looking at a 2-bedroom. Just do
Yeah,
1 bedroom.
Well, I'm looking at 2-bedroom for a buddy and me, but
Okay, split. Okay, got it.
it's like $1,800.
Yep, and they expect
Like,
you to make
everywhere.
3 times that amount, which
Yes.
is so it's
No,
bullshit.
but hear this, right? So it
Who
was like,
in their fucking mind makes 50? Wait, how
So-
much is that?
hold on, wait. So this is the kicker, right? There's this one place
400.
where I was like, okay, like this is a nice place, you know, but
Yeah,
it
400.
wasn't like up the wall, like super expensive. I think it was like for a 2-bedroom, it was like $1,600 a month. I'm like, that's not bad for a 2-bedroom, and it's gated, everything, you know. I was like, and I've been there before. One of my friends lived there, and then when we went to go to the office and, you know, get all the paperwork or whatever, just to kind of fill out, you know, it was like, oh, we're, you know, considering this as an option. They were like, okay, but if you have to have a cone, you have to make 3 times the amount that is due, just us. And then if you need a co-signer, if you don't reach those requirements, they have to make 10 times the amount to be a co-signer. And I'm like,
Who the fuck makes $16,000 a month?
yeah.
Who the fuck
Yeah.
makes $16,000 a month? These fucking landlords, I swear to God. I understand. They want security. They want to know that they'll get their money at the end. Understandable. Yet you still rent out to people that don't. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
you fucking idiots. But 3 times the amount is, for $1,600, it's $4,800 a month. $4,800 a month. Now split 2 ways, $2,400 a month. That's more than most mortgages on a house. $2,400 a month split 2 ways. Well, not split 2 ways, sorry. $4,800 split 2 ways. $2,400 total per person. How do they expect you to make that much money? I actually think you can make that much money. You don't have to dedicate all that money to the rent. But at our job, we make a lot of money, but it's not something that we can show. Like, it's not, okay, I always make this much money each week. It's like, no, it fluctuates all the time. I get tips. I can only show you how much money I make per hour. And that hourly is not anywhere near fucking $2,400 a month. I don't think. I have to look it up. If you work 40 hours a week, maybe. But it's not worth it. My parents are gracious. They're only charging me $500 to live in this place.
Yeah.
But that's because they want to actually see us move out and have kids. We can't do that if we're in an apartment.
No, okay, so my girlfriend really wants to move out together, right? So,
Fuck that hoe.
she's not saying like right now, but she's just like, okay, in like 2 years, like, you know, once we have like a stable, you know, income, she's, you know, whatever. And I'm like, okay, but she wants to move out of her mom's like soonish. But I'm like, okay, why? I mean, it's horrible. She has a super shitty living condition.
I'm sure.
And she puts up with it really well, honestly. And she holds her top from blowing off. Yeah.
My boobies.
Yeah. She's got big old boobies too.
Big old tits.
But no, it's like, I don't know. She said something and it was like, okay. I'm trying to correlate it how exactly, because I don't want to put words in other people's mouths. But it was like something to do with like, you know, I don't know why you would be moving out with my buddy, right? But we've come to it. It'd be $600 a month. That's way better than
A $1,200 apartment?
No. So it's gonna be, it's a So we found a place where it's a duplex, not duplex. It's is it a duplex? It's a 1-story. It's like a home and then a home.
Yeah, it's a
And they're
duplex.
connected. Okay, but it's just a 1-story, so it's yeah. But because the garages, you know, come together, and then but it's separate by a wall, and then you have your garage, and then it's separate.
Yeah,
you know,
I've delivered to many duplexes.
so it's like that, and then but
The
it would
first
be
house I technically lived in was a duplex.
there'd be 3 people technically now, so it would be their girlfriend, him, and then me.
Right, about Seth. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm kind of iffy about it just because.
That's just more money you gotta spend, you know.
No, it's not, because it's split 3 ways. It'd be $600 a month. That's really good. That's really cheap. But
It's
here's
still
the thing,
more than you
like,
pay now, I'm sure.
oh yeah, I don't pay anything now
I know, lucky you.
for rent, and all I have to do is just help my mom around. I mean, yeah, I'm 24, still living at home. Like that sucks. Like that's a blow, right?
Yeah,
like,
it sucks.
It sucks, but also that gives me the great opportunity to continue just to pile in money.
Create that stepmom porn, if you know what I mean.
To just
Stepsis too.
So even
Can't do
though,
stepdad anymore, but
yeah, but she's like, don't you want to, she kind of, that at first she was super embarrassed that I lived at home and I'm 24, you know, and
Nice.
she was like, I don't know, like that's just hard for me to tell people. And I'm like, but why? Here you
it'd
are
be
moving,
hard for me to
here you
tell
are
people too.
moving out, and then you're right back at square one. Not to be rude or anything, but you're back at your parents because you can't afford moving out.
Yeah.
I never made that decision because I knew that I wouldn't be able to afford it. So, who's the fool now?
I haven't moved out, but I'm still paying rent.
So, I mean,
moving out soon with my wife. Getting married is one of the easiest ways to, be able to afford that shit.
yeah. But I don't know. I'm glad I didn't move out, even though as much as I wanted to, and I could have at one point, and I was going to, and then accident. But I was like, okay, I'm glad that I didn't, because if I did, and I was put in that situation, I would have been fucked even more than I was. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, yeah, it's like a blow to your ego, but honestly, like to your savings.
It's still not as bad as our boss bought a car that's probably in my perspective is probably worth about $20,000, maybe $18,000, $20,000 on the top end. They marketed it as being
What kind of car is it?
Okay, it's a 2019 Toyota Corolla.
Okay. I know
It's
what you're
got
talking
like
about now.
40,000 miles when she bought it. I can't remember the mileage, but they marketed it as being $24,000. And because she was not paying attention to what they were doing in their sleaze bags, they saw that she was approved for $38,000. So guess what happened? They found every way to make sure that that car was worth as high as possible, and she signed the paperwork. So now she has a $34,000 2019 Toyota Corolla, which for anyone out there, that is the most expensive Corolla, maybe except for the GR, the new GR, but a hybrid Corolla, brand new. I looked it up. A brand new hybrid Corolla is $22,000. $22,000. Now, assured that is the base model, but still, it's like really.
Yikes.
Even if I got the top of the line model, I wouldn't break 30 grand.
I'm never gonna buy from a dealership or anything.
No,
I'm always gonna buy pre-owned.
you'd have
from
to go
a
to
private
dealership.
seller.
Okay.
From a private seller. Best deals you can ever, because you get to fill out the person.
Yeah.
You can actually look at it,
I got mine from a
underneath.
dealership and I got lucky.
Yeah. But
They were nice people.
I went to a dealership when I was looking at my first car. And I was looking at a Subaru, but it was a different one.
Yeah.
It was silver and it was a hatchback. Yeah, but it was like the newer. It was like a 2011 or 12. Anyways, I looked at it. It was like, it's been on the lot a little while, so it has like, dust on it and whatnot. So I was like, okay, like that's not a big deal. I'll just take it through a car wash, whatever. But then I literally like look underneath, right? And they like shoved it in this parking spot just right. I don't know, to make it really hard for me to look at the car.
Yeah.
And I was looking underneath because they knew I was coming and everything. And it looked like it was recently moved too. And they were like, nothing's wrong with it, And the guy was actually like super nice, like texting wise.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, maybe I'm getting lucky here. Like, this
Maybe.
guy's being like really communicative, telling me everything. It's like, okay. But I need to do it on my own and see it with my two eyes to be like, okay, what you're telling me is true. Cool. I look underneath that, the biggest oil leak underneath on the pan. I'm like,
Nope.
nope. I mean, I had to like wedge my way just to look, and I was like, I can't see anything. It's so dark. And then I turn on my flashlight on my phone, and I'm like, it's like dripping onto the ground. I'm like, okay, no, And then I was
Nope,
like,
not this car.
leaving.
Yeah, no,
This is no.
that's a no. Oil leaks can be minor, but in most cases they'll cost you thousands.
Yeah.
Especially if you're taking it to a dealership where they'll fuck you up the wazoo because they're not actually fixing the problem; they're just replacing parts.
Yeah,
that's how it is. They don't pay them enough, so they don't know what the fuck they're doing. No, I got lucky. I got really lucky with mine. Although my wife and I, was it last year or 2 years ago? I can't remember. We drove up to Seattle to go look at a 2004 Toyota Tacoma Access cab. It was like $5,500. I was like, okay, there's probably something wrong because it's like just under 100,000 miles. I'm like, there's probably something wrong with it. And when I called the guy, he was already super irritated about people calling him about the car. It's like, well, you should expect that when you sell a 2003 Toyota Tacoma, something that a lot of people are looking for, and you're selling it for so cheap for as little mileage as it is. And he's so tired of people asking what's wrong with the car. And I didn't ask that at first. I was like,
that's what I got with my Subaru.
I was like, I assume there's something wrong with this truck. What's wrong with this truck? I need to figure out if whether or not you understand what's wrong with this truck, or maybe you think this truck is worse because someone told you it's awful. And when I look at it, it looks pristine. So I was hoping maybe that was the scenario, very rough shot scenario. We get there and the truck runs. I look underneath and same issue. Oil just, I was like, I don't know what part this would be. I have no idea how expensive this was, but I was like, it's $5,500 for a Tacoma. Like, even if you had to spend like $4,000 on parts, you're still making money at the end. So I was like, I don't know. And they gave me.
Did you look at the top? Did you look underneath the hood as well?
Yeah, I looked underneath
top
the hood.
and bottom
oil
leak.
No, it was just bottom, so I had to figure out where that was, but I didn't get that far. The frame looked fine, which those old Tacomas got to be worry about rusted out frames, and because it was in Canada, I was like, okay. I looked at that and it was fine. It didn't look like it was painted over anything, and I hit it with my ring, and it dinged like a frame would. So I was like, okay, the frame's fine. A little bit of rust on the rims, not too bad. It wasn't going to be that much of an effect. I'm like, okay, new rims, new tires. That's not that big of a deal. The rear bumper had corroded off to the point where you couldn't really tow anything off the bumper, but it's like, okay, then put something else in. I know how much that costs, but I was like, okay, it's really not that bad. You get in the car, it shifts fine, it runs fine. The fan is so fucking loud. On those old Toyotas, that fan runs all the time because it's on the belt. Like, it doesn't just turn on automatically whenever your car gets to that temperature, or if you turn on the AC. It just always, it's like, Jesus Christ, it just feels like an airplane taking off when you lift the hood of those old ones. But there's a couple things that I questioned. I was like, I don't know, I've never seen this before, and it looked like it maybe had a carburetor on it. I was like, no, that doesn't look right. And it turns out I think it was just the throttle, but the way that it was, like, if you look at the old Tacomas, they look fucking weird. And I think it was a V6 Tacoma, so it's even better.
Yeah. You know what car I really want to get is a Ford Ranger, or a truck.
An old one.
I want to get an old Ford Ranger.
Yeah,
I really do, and I
just don't have enough space. That's my problem with it.
I like them though. Like, I just, every time I get one, I'm like, this feels right. I don't know, like, it's just kind of like, I love the jumper seats in the back.
What shocked me so much is those old Tacoma. That one was also lifted too.
The whole seat is just one.
Yeah,
I like that. I don't, because fun time in a car makes it easy. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
But no, this Toyota Tacoma was taller. It looked like it may have been raised, but I couldn't see anything that indicated it's been raised, other than the tires were pretty big, and it was tall. But when I got in there, it was so cramped for headroom, because those things are so squished. But you don't notice it because you're like, oh, that's a relatively like normal sized car. But if you look at the frame where the bottom is versus the top of the car is, it's like, that's tiny. So it felt, and it was the weirdest thing. You're sitting down as if you're sitting down on a chair that's a foot tall. It's like my legs are literally like, I feel like I'm sitting on the ground in one of those those kids chairs, those tiny kids chairs.
Scoot back The tails.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I don't like about the older trucks.
Yeah.
Um,
But no, it was like,
but I'm pretty sure it's.
I'm driving a truck, but it's like, it feels like I'm sitting in like one of those Formula One cars. Like, what the fuck is this bullshit? This is a truck? It's like, oh, but it has so much more power than my car. That was the nice thing. But it was just rear wheel drive, so
I
you
like
could
those
have some
new
fun with it.
Toyota Tacomas, man.
The new ones look all right. I think they just cost too much.
They do.
If they
but,
came out
man,
with the
they're
smaller
nice.
one, like, you know how Ford came out with the Maverick, which is more of what the Ranger used to be. If Toyota came out with the same thing, basically same exact thing, I'd fucks with it. It's a small Toyota truck, I'd do it. I probably wouldn't get it hybrid though, because knowing Toyota trucks, if you just a normal 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder, that fucker, as long as you take care of it, lasts millions of miles.
Toyotas are awesome cars.
Yeah, just don't get the new Tundras because those are twin turboed V6, and
Well,
Toyota makes great engines, but they do not make engines that can last that long on twin turbos.
Also,
No company
a
can.
Tacoma, or not a Tacoma, but a fucking. You just said it.
Raptor?
No, fucking hell. That's Ford.
Tundra?
Tundra. There we go. They change your oil in those.
That's only if you get a TRD skid plate.
I mean, yeah, but even a regular one's kind of a bitch still.
I mean, the nice thing is you don't really have to lift up the truck that much if you're small enough.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
but like.
The only thing I don't
know.
like about some of those companies is and I think Ford trucks are
TRD.
one of the worst. They put the oil on the side instead of underneath. It's like,
That's Ford.
could we just put
That's
the
mainly
oil?
Ford.
Could we put the oil filter underneath? I understand it takes some clearance away and it's a bit of a risk. I get it. But if you could find someone, and it doesn't have to be at the very bottom of the car, just like maybe enough to where the top of the oil oil filter is just above the oil pan, like just right there, and then just unscrew it that way. Why the side? It just makes a mess. Every time I change my Ford Fiesta, it's just like fucking
I hate it when they put
waterfall.
it right next to the wheel well.
wheel well.
Thank you. And then like there's no way to put a pan. You just gotta like let it, and then it's just everywhere, all over the car, and it's just like, cool. Now I gotta take brake cleaner and just.
Yeah.
But I love brake cleaner, dude. That shit will clean that so nicely.
What'd you guys do for heat protection, or did you just fucking deal with
We
the
just
heat?
went for it. Yeah, bare hands.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I changed my oil
You
sometime.
got used to it. And it's like a fresh running car.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, you grab on.
Not
like,
advisable.
ooh.
Don't do that shit.
You know, you're like this, ooh. But then like once like I don't know, you just get so used to your hands fried. You're just like, yeah, it's been running for like probably a few hours now, but I'm just, whatever.
200 degrees.
I don't know. Like I never like I got a few burns.
Fahrenheit for you English
think-
fucks.
I think like
Sorry.
the first like I would say like few weeks was rough, but then once like your hands kind of built up a callus.
I'm surprised they didn't just give you like a fucking oil filter wrench or something.
We had those only if it was a hard one to come off.
Yeah, but even then, you're fucking up your hands.
Well, like what you would really do if it's above and not from the side, and we rarely got the side ones, but it was just like you do this and you do it really quick, and then it's there, and then you just kind of do,
Well, yeah.
But you got used to it, and you learned like a technique with it too.
But
so
still, if you're
not,
training
like,
to become a mechanics have to be pretty good at feeling with their fingertips. And if you burn all the fucking nerve endings on your fingertips, it's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm feeling. Is it rubber? Is it metal? I don't know.
there are yeah. I mean, there are times when you do burn the tips of your fingers and you can't feel much
Yeah.
for a while.
I don't want to do that too much. So every
But-
time I change my oil, I wait a little bit. In fact, I'll feel the oil pan and I'll just hold my hand on it. If I can't hold my hand on it for more than 10 seconds, I won't do it because it's like I know the way that I have to do it because you guys had an oil pit. I don't. I have to do it laying down. If I pop off the oil plug and it gets on my hand, I now have to put this down, grab my rag, which is never right next to me because I'm not good at planning that. That's all guys aren't. So now my hand's just burning while I'm trying to figure this out. I do that,
What-
and I have a
I
glove
think-
on too.
I think what the worst part about like burning your hand, because it got past your hand and it was on your wrist, is when the oil plug would fall into the oil pan,
And then
and then it's like, now I gotta go try to find it in this, and then it's like burning hot, and you're like,
that's when I would just get one of those magnet extenders that they typically have.
we didn't have those because
You could have just bought one for like $3
Yeah.
at fucking O'Reilly's.
I could have, but
I should buy one so I don't have that situation. Although the oil pan that I have, its hole is too small. It couldn't fit in my bolt anyway.
yeah, that's fair. But I don't know. You got used to it, and it was
Your
fun.
oil pan couldn't fit in my bolt. Car talk. Gotta love it.
Yes, sexy car talk. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, I gotta figure out. Weird thing about being a car mechanic, you have to be able to do so much shit. You have to work with metal, welding, electrical work, diagnosing. What's another thing?
It's a doctorate degree right there.
Yeah, it basically fucking is. And the amount of shit you got to do. I mean, my wife's car right now, her headlights are not very bright because, even though they're LEDs, because the plug, for some reason, Kia, dumbass bitch, decided to cheap out on their headlight plug. It's burnt out in the middle. The little middle plug is burnt out, kind of like if you had an outlet like that, but it had like black, and because it's plastic, it was melted. So now I have to figure out how to become an electrician by taking the headlight off, taking the or unplugging it, cutting off the old plug, taking the new plug, twisting the wires on the correct wires.
It's not okay. Once you know what's what, it's not hard to connect wires.
My dumbass is going to forget to put the fucking what is it called? Crimper. I think it's like something that you crimp it and then you heat up both filaments to prevent the water from getting in. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a certain adapter that you have to put in. If you don't put it on before you put the wires together, and you put you actually twist the wires together, now you gotta untwist the wire, and I'll probably do that 10 times before I get it right.
I'm not familiar with cars because we didn't have to do that shit. But I know with like electricianal work, like if you just need to, cap off, they just sell, depending on how thick the what you're dealing with. They have different size caps that you do, and you just stick them together, and then you just twist it, and it seals the ends of the wires, and then it's just there, and it won't shock you or nothing.
Yeah,
you
that's
just,
nice. I'll see if I can find.
That's not too hard.
I'm looking for.
It's not hard at all, actually. But yeah,
I'll just see if this works, because I don't know what to use. Yeah. These.
oh, those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Because you kind of have to use this for a
Yeah.
car, because
Yep.
So I got to learn how to do that, and I'll probably use
That's
my
fine.
father-in-law because he's a bit of a mechanic, or not mechanic, but maintenance man. So he has to deal with electrical work all the time.
Yeah.
That one. God, I can't.
But
Yeah, so I got to do that on both of her headlights because both of them are burnt out. Just wonderful.
yeah.
And I'm really dreading it because Kia, also being the bastards that they are, I do this all the time when I work on my cars. I'm like, fuck you, Ford, you piece of shit. Who the fuck engineered this shit? Why would you put it so fucking close to... I can't even fit my hand in here. Now I got to do this adapter to this adapter to this adapter to ensure that I can actually get this fucking bolt off. And then you strip the bolt and you're like, what the fuck, Ford? Why would you make an aluminum head fucking bolt? Fuck you, asshole. Anyway, yeah, I do that shit all the time.
But no, like today, I need to get new tires.
Yeah, you probably should because now that it's wet.
Yeah, because even when I had the flat, I kind of noticed that I was getting a little lower on tread, and I was like, oh, like I still have some life in these. But today I was sliding all the time, and I was like, I have a front wheel drive car too. So,
What's easier to control anyway?
yeah, it is, but I don't know.
Rear wheel drive, it's really easy to oversteer. But anyway, Kia Souls, for those of you who own them, you'll know my grievance if you actually work on your fucking car. If you don't, fuck you. The headlights are held inside of this small ass fucking capsule that you untwist, which is normal. But basically, right up against where that opening is the fucking plug. So if you try to put LED lights in, every LED light isn't just like halogen lights where it's the light bulb, the connector piece, and then the plug. LEDs is the LED bulbs, a fan, a wire that's probably about 6-7 inches long, and then the plug. So because this fucking thing is held up against it and there's not a lot of space, the only way to put in an LED light in this fucking car is to smush all the fucking wiring there and then try to and then get it in that way. Yeah. And I was like, well, maybe I fucked up there. I don't think I did. It's a common problem with Kias for some fucking reason. But my fucking car is so easy. You just pull the rubber cap. It's like you got like a cavity of space to work with. You put it in, put the plug in, you put the cap back on. You're like, oh, good to go. I don't even need to remove the fucking headlight because I didn't decide to put a fucking fuse box right up against the fucking headlight. Fucking bitches. Sorry. That's why I can't be a mechanic. My stress levels would be through the fucking roof all the fucking time. I'd be cussing like a sailor like I am now. All the time.
That's true.
I am afraid of working on my cars if my kids are around. I just hear
fucking piece of shit.
Fuck. They come out. It's done. What did you do? Change the oil. Same thing with her fucking car. I don't know why she decides to pick the cars that are so fucking stupid. At least Kia and their skid plate, they give you a little cubby hole that you can get the fucking tool in for the oil plug, and they give you a little cubby hole for the fucking oil filter. The cubby hole they decided to do for the oil filter can barely fit my hand in it. Now, my hands are huge. Don't get me wrong. But my hand can barely fit in it, which means if I have one that's a little bit more difficult, even if I get that second hand in, I have very little grip and force that I can give to my fingertips. So it's like,
Priuses are kind of like that.
Unscrew this motherfucker. Yeah. And
I have thin hands.
Because I'm also a very strong individual when I put them on. Taking them off is a fucking bitch. And it's such a tight space that even if you get your hand in there, the oil filter, there is just enough space where my fingertips can fit between the oil filter and the oil pan. So even if I wanted to get one of those wrenches on, I now have to navigate it in between there. And then now I barely have enough space to maybe, it just doesn't fucking work. So the only way to actually do it, if it is stuck on to the point where I can't even take it off, of which I already cussed multiple times because now I have to do the long way, is I have to undo, I think it's like 10 bolts to get the fucking plastic skid shield off. And I told my wife, I'm like, please, for the love of God, say that you don't want that back on. She's like, I want that back on. Fuck. She's like, if that part's not on, this oil change takes me 10 minutes. But because I got to take this part off and on, it's going to take me fucking an hour because every time. And I even decided to use the Fram oil filters because they have the little grip at the bottom of them. Mm. Yeah. So I could actually grip onto it because, you know, your hands are oily when you do it. So if it's like a painted plastic fucking piece of shit, you can't grip onto that regardless of what you do. I got the STPs, I think, had the little, like the hex bolt that you could put a fucking bolt on. That's nice. Ew, that's gross. Vape juice coffee? Huh?
It's empty.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
You keep looking at me like you want to finish. Dude, it's only 4:30. I can go all night.
I'm good.
You're not adding a lot of content to this. Come on. We lost an hour, so we gotta get some in there. You know?
We got more than 45 minutes.
More than 45 minutes?
Yeah, we got
53 minutes and 57 seconds, but it's not the same content. And also, I now look at the video. Oh, goddamn.
What?
You can tell that my lips are not moving at the same speed that my lips are actually moving in real life. So that's wonderful.
It's slow.
So that'll probably be less distracting for most people. Just do it the normal podcast way where you only hear our sexy voices.
Yes.
It's like that button.
I did not expect that.
Dude, I wish we had like a professional soundboard. Because
Eventually.
if I knew how to use it properly, I'd be using that shit all the time. Just fucking fuck you, bitch. It's like all over the fucking place. Yeah. I'm just glad I don't work at Domino's anymore. That was something I was looking forward to all day.
It's funny because Seth is like, I thought I was gonna hate this job immediately. I was like, oh, why? I said it's not terrible working here. I said to him, he
Give or
said this
take 2 months.
tonight, and he was like, yeah, but like you saying it's okay, I was kind of expecting it to be like, I don't know, shit,
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's actually like an okay place. Like
You make a lot of money, but you got to deal with some shit.
yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I'm in my own little world, and 90% of the time, anyways.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really come to my brain that I'm like, oh, this is, the only, honestly, if it wasn't for you guys telling me the information, I probably would have just
Not noticed.
Well, I would have noticed, but I wouldn't have necessarily like fixated on it. Not necessarily fixated, but just like been like, oh fuck this place.
Well, and the other thing is I've had so much contrast to now that it's not been this bad. It's never been this bad where you have drivers that don't do anything on the inside, and then you have opening and closing drivers doing all of the tasks. That's unfair. I believe it's also exploitative, because you're exploiting the labor of 3 people so that you don't have to pay for the labor of 8. It's like it's a common issue in almost every field, it seems, that your manager keeps asking you to do more work but not paying you any more for it. So they're exploiting your labor, and I don't think enough people stand up to it, so that's why it continues. So that's why I decided to quit. It felt like I was being exploited, and I don't feel that very often, but it really did feel like that. Because even after I talked about that issue with my manager, and I already brought this up too, the way that they tried to resolve it was completely inappropriate, based off of what I was saying. Instead of having every driver learn how to do all the tasks and having them take on the same level of responsibility, it was, all right, I will just ask the closing driver that's not closing today to do all of the tasks so that the closing drivers today get a little bit of a reprieve. It's like, no, it's not fair to ask at this time my wife to do 4 tasks, but none of the other coworkers that she had the same shift with a single task. That's not fair. Yeah. And after I brought that up, she just stopped asking me to do tasks if I wasn't closing that day. It's like, that's not what I'm asking either. So yeah, I hope that changes, because if it goes on for too long, it's just going to be a constant struggle of trying to find opening and closing drivers, because no one's going to want to fucking do it. It's why would you want to work? Why would you want to work that hard and cover the quiet hours and not make as much money?
The new guy looks so much like you.
I don't agree. He's so much chubbier. His facial structure looks nothing like me.
But
he's blonde with red beard. That's it.
Okay, but like when I first walked in, right, not really paying attention, I was like, oh, there's Brandon. And then I like took a double, and I was like, that's not Brandon.
I want to see if that actually no. Let's see, because this guy doesn't really look like me. God damn it! Fuck. Let me see. I think I know their podcast. Hold on. Of course, they don't show his face. Nice. Fucker, him.
Oh.
Him if I was a little bit chubbier. We also seem to have the same personality for the most part. So, if I grew out my beard a little bit more.
He's also
what I've noticed.
Up.
Yeah, that's true. I won't do that. But what I've noticed with guys that have blonde hair.
Boobies.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. I've noticed guys with blonde hair, my build, sometimes tattoos, and red beard, they always have the fucking douchebag fucking gauges.
Yeah.
Why? It doesn't look good. I don't understand it at all. And most of them are also drummers too, I've noticed. So
Yeah.
I think you probably know that guy. That's fun. Or Demo Ranch,
Oh.
one with the censored over his mouth.
Yeah.
Dude, I should try the whole Viking look. I don't know if that would work though.
You'd have to grow up the top,
I'm
Pretty long.
trying.
and then you'd have to.
Yeah.
You'd have to.
I'm growing this out because now I can. At Domino's, you can only grow it out to I think an inch. Mine's definitely longer than an inch, and they don't notice. It's not like they're coming out with like a fucking measurement tape, but if it looks like it's 5 inches long, I'm like, yeah, I don't think you need
Like
to cut
that's
that.
a Viking hairstyle, but there's other Viking hairstyles.
Yeah,
so
I
I'm
know.
going for a different.
You're thinking like braided on the top.
Well, I'm thinking of like not necessarily braided. I'm just talking about like full long hair, mangy kind of like look.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Not shaved sides, what the particular Viking would look like. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Because most of the time,
Eh.
Viking hair cuts.
Of course, it's gonna show the people from the show Vikings, but
yeah.
Of course, all of them are gonna be
not-
unrealistic.
I'm not talking about like the shaved head with the long. I'm talking more like
This, I don't think I could pull that off.
No,
'Cause if I pull it
like,
back-
that's the look more I'm going for is the long hair, and like that aspect. I think if I can grow a beard, dude, like that would be
Just a little bit more testosterone. That's all you need.
Mm.
All you need to grow a beard like
Also,
me
I would
is
love to
genetics.
do this with my hair.
Oh, the guy that lives on the corner of our.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. He looks sick, dude. He look.
I
Ah.
could maybe pull that off, but I don't think so. I need to get a little bit more jacked. I just need to work on my pecs, dude. If I had like pecs like his, I would look massive. But I have tiny pecs, so it just kind of makes it look
See,
disproportional.
like maybe if
'Cause my shoulders and everything else on my arms are fucking huge.
maybe if when I decide to cut my hair, I get to the length I want.
That's a beautiful beard.
That is, yeah.
That is a beautiful beard.
You can tell the difference between his mustache and his beard.
Yeah, that's cool. That doesn't happen very often though.
But I don't know. I love the Viking hairstyles, even on women too. Like they look really good.
Like this?
Yeah,
Yeah. I think that's I can't remember from
it's fucking
Vikings.
hot, dude.
Okay, the fucking eyeliner is a bit much, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I
That's not a Viking haircut.
No, that's
No,
not.
That's a pretty.
That-
That
yeah.
is. You ruined it. Dachshunds ruin it for me. Don't ever. If we get famous and people start like bringing me their dachshunds, I will kick your dachshund. Actually, I won't. I love dogs, but I don't like
Yeah.
dachshunds. So I won't hurt your dog, but I won't like your dog. And I may not like you if you're trying to push your dog to me.
I don't know what the fuck.
Why would you choose that tattoo?
Also,
looks
that's-
fake.
That's
That's fake.
it looks like a doll
That's fake.
head.
It also looks like doll skin. What the fuck is that? Oh,
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
okay. Weird. That looks like a lesbian haircut
Yeah.
on a dude.
Yeah. That's sick though. That woman with the red hair with
This one?
yeah.
That would take forever.
Yeah.
Forever to set up and forever to take
Just
out.
have fucking long hair to do that.
Yeah, and you'd need like 10 hairdressers
I
to
think
work on it
when I do my
simultaneously.
Viking style, I think I'm gonna do that to my face.
From
is
the-
like kinda
Bloodied?
bloodied.
Okay.
But I'm going
Just slaughter a couple cows, you know?
I'm going all out for my Viking like look because I'm buying like actual
don't-
leather.
I don't
shit.
like this. It just makes it look ropey. It's like, okay, your
Yeah.
hair looks like a rope. But that's fine. Like, that works.
Mhm. I
because you
like
still have some of the flow and
Yeah.
the braid.
I love long hair on girls, and especially if
No,
they braid
this
it.
doesn't work.
No,
That's also fake braid.
but especially if a woman has like super long hair, like down to their ass, and they braid it. There's nothing.
It sucks for them though.
more-
The amount of fucking time you have to put
Oh
in
yeah.
for that shit. Dude, I can barely grow out my hair as long as this is, and I already don't take care of it. It's like,
Yeah.
it looks like shit, and I can't imagine how shitty it would look. And I don't like spending that much time in the shower, contrary to some guys. I don't like to focus on the hair anyway. Washing your hair it takes such a long time, especially in the perspective of someone who's been bald for a few months.
I don't
Being-
take that much time to wash my
Being
hair.
bald is just like done. It's so fucking easy, but the second you start getting longer hair, it's like you got to work in the soap to the scalp, and then you got to work it out to the edges, and it's a fucking
I don't
process.
take that much time with mine.
That's why it looks like
I
shit. Oh, I'm kidding.
No, like I don't know. I'm kind of.
He looks like a lesbian. Nice. That's
Yikes.
not a Viking haircut. That just looks like
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
looks like a Reese's Pieces top.
But
Yeah.
I like Viking hairstyles.
Yeah.
There's just I don't know. There's something about it. It's just like
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that Macklemore?
there's a bunch of.
Yeah. Macklemore and David Beckham.
That's sick.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I don't like the tattoos.
You don't.
I don't
I
like
think-
this one specifically.
Nah. I mean, but just like like the best way to describe like what I'm going for is Aquaman.
But this.
But yeah, like more. I mean, of course, I can't do that. So what I'm gonna do with the Viking is grow this out
I think he's taking steroids.
quite a bit. I don't think so.
I think he's just in the process of getting bigger because this doesn't look natural to me.
No, you can have that. Definitely
Mm,
natural. Yeah.
mm,
Because
I think
I'm
he's-
about to start working out again. So like, I'll tell
I
you.
don't think that this amount of pec is normal. Like I've seen guys that look natural that have been working out their pecs for a while. You can theoretically get this if you've done it your entire life and
You have to
eat the
do-
right shit. But this looks more like steroids to me. When the pecs start to look super full and huge, it's like, okay, you're probably taking steroids. Even if they're that small. Like I think he's still working to get a little bit bigger, but I don't know if he's natural, to be honest. Maybe he is. I don't know. It's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah.
I guess his arms aren't really that defined, but again,
No.
maybe he's not working out the arms that often. It looks like he's doing mostly core and pec.
Yeah. Core's a bitch.
Yeah, I don't do
Core's-
core.
Core's a bitch.
I understand why people do it, but I don't care.
Like I have natural abs anyways, so like whatever I work out, my abs just kind of come along with it. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't do the core just because it's not really something that I care that much about. As heavy as I am, you could have great core strength and still not be able to do the shit that some people who are a little bit smaller than you that have
Yeah.
the same core strength.
I don't know. But Aquaman,
Especially as big as my legs are. It's not possible. Like the whole when you hold yourself up by your two arms and your legs are extended past behind you with your feet off the ground. I don't think I'm physically capable of doing that even if I had great core. I mean, if I had god level core, maybe. But my legs are so fucking heavy. My thighs are huge. My calves are huge. My calves. Oh, wait, no. Sorry. I did that backwards. My wife's calves are the same size as my upper arm. I'm a big dude, so having core really doesn't help me other than maybe with balance. Otherwise,
and your back.
true. But you work out most of everything else. You're kind of working that stuff out too. So it's like, okay, what's the point? If I just had pecs that matched the rest of my body, I would look great. But my pecs are small. So if I worked out my pecs, I wouldn't have to have like a chiseled body. Because if you look at guys that have pecs and they still have a little bit of like a dad belly, they look pretty good. Just saying. I wouldn't fuck with them. Especially like the strongmen. Like none of them have. Oh, okay, some of them do, but strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, Okay, yeah, Eddie Hall, I guess, but chubby Eddie Hall when he lifted the 500 kilograms. But most of them, they don't really have much in the way of abs, but they have huge fucking pecs.
Do you think that they take roids?
No, I think I know with Eddie Hall anyway, he has a certain genetic condition in which his muscle is always constantly being torn as if he is working out. So if he does work out, he gets much, much stronger than anyone else could. So he doesn't have to take steroids to get that big. I may have that condition because I don't do anything for my arms. I haven't worked out that much. I don't work out that much. My thighs are huge. My arms are massive, and I didn't do anything to deserve that shit. So I think genetically speaking, that could also be my dad, you know. He's kind of the same way. Although he worked for it. I didn't. Or at least I don't remember working for my biceps. Like, how fucking long do you think it would take if I actually worked at it for a normal person?
Well, they're not defined either.
That's true. But they're
So-
still huge.
Well, I mean, yeah. It would
Kinda
be-
toot my
it
own
would
horn
be-
here.
It would be really hard to get your arms defined.
Yeah, but still, I mean, pretty big.
See, what I lack is like the width. I have the length most of the time. When I used to work out, I had the size from looking at me from the side. I had like
It's
this.
just you didn't have the width.
But
from
then
the-
I can't
yeah.
get width
Yeah.
for whatever reason. I just can't. So it didn't look like from the front. I didn't look big, but from the side, I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Okay. But
But no, imagine if I worked out, man.
Hmm.
Like professionally lifted. Like I wouldn't need steroids. I think I just have too much testosterone.
yeah.
Although this guy's on roids. You know that much.
Oh yeah.
This guy's definitely on roids. You don't get traps like that if you're not on roids.
Yeah. no.
Fuck this guy. The pecs on him too. Yeah, no. Roids. You can tell the difference between roids. No, that doesn't look like roids. It just looks like his.
He has floppy boobies, so no.
But that's also because he used to look like that. So that might be why.
See, I want to look like this.
He's taken roids. Look at the definition in his arm. Look at that.
But I mean,
That you don't get that without roids, man. You don't get that without roids. That's not. No. I understand he's this like one of the strongest men. No, not his arms, dude.
yeah, but he just has.
And as old as he is, there's no fucking way he's not using roids. There's no way he's not using roids. He's also Icelandic, so
No.
it could also been that he just worked out, maybe. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he may have just worked out. So that might be
like,
why.
if
Because
you-
his
if
natural
you just
state,
work out, like you have that pump.
his natural state doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that roided out. So that
I
could
mean,
be what it is.
I could look like I had roids, like I had big traps.
Not like that.
But I mean,
Or let me bring back roid guy that I know definitely is on roid. Not
oh
like
no,
that.
they don't look like that. No.
That's
but they
roids,
still
man.
have like you see the definition. Like you see like
I guess for those of you who want to see what we're looking at, this guy is definitely on steroids.
yeah.
You don't get like this if you're not on steroids. Look at the
No.
traps. That's one of the main things that you can tell. The pecs, you can tell. And then the arms. Do they look just not physically possible? There's a difference between natural and steroids. And it's sometimes difficult to tell. This guy, he's on steroids. You can tell. Mostly because if you, like, let's say you wanted to fight with them. If they can't, like, reach... you can tell they're probably on roids. Not all of them, but this guy, he looks like he can actually box and reach, even though his traps are pretty big. Let me bring back this guy. This guy could not reach his back. If you put a piece of
Yeah.
tape, not even like in the middle of his back, but like right here where most of us can grab onto, he would not be able to grab that at all. He'd be like, I can't get it. Because you don't get that big without some roids. Roids. Definitely.
Well, it's the same guy. So
Yeah. That's not That's not.
Yeah.
But that's also when he's doing a strongman competition. Let's see. This one's questionable for me. It could be that he just worked out. So I will give him the benefit of the doubt, considering that he does competitions. They test through that. Probably wouldn't do that. But that's what he normally looked like.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Before he lifted, I can't remember how many pounds. It was a lot of weight. He tried to beat Eddie Hall's record, I think.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely roids.
Yeah.
No, that's natural. I believe that's natural. It took a while for him to get there, but it's just not overly defined.
Okay, but look at the traps, dude.
Traps are massive, but he's also one of the strong men. So maybe he did it for a movie. It could be possible that maybe he did it a while ago, and that's how he got those traps.
Yeah.
But he's not. It doesn't look like he's on steroids no more. This guy, no, no,
Yeah.
no. If I could actually fucking zoom in, that would be nice. None of these guys. And he might be starting, but none of these guys are.
I don't think that's roids.
That's just masturbation with both hands. Oh God, your arms are way too big for your body, man. Way too
He
big for your
works out
body.
biceps. That's it.
That's it. He's
That's
so
how he works
fucking
out.
skinny otherwise. Like you remove his arms, he's like a skinny bro, but because of his
Yeah.
fucking arms, that's all he works out, man. That's unnatural.
Yeah.
Like my dad's forearms are about that big. And my dad's a big dude. His biceps aren't quite that big, but his forearms are about that big.
Yeah.
Oh, that's when he was on the show. No, I don't see it. Roid or not roid? Oh, we should do a quiz. That'd be nice. Roid or no roid, but we could do that later on a
Yeah.
different show. Trying to see if I can
That
find
guy's
another.
definitely roided. That
mm,
black guy, right? Right.
Yeah. Yep. And he just got done. Yep, roids.
Yeah.
Definitely roids. Yeah. Yeah. No. This guy. Nah, he's just Samoan. Kidding. He actually looks Italian. He's got a box chest too. I'm more scared of that guy than fucking roided out dude. I thought it was Joe Rogan there for a second. From the small ass
I
fucking
don't
face.
think that's roids. But it's questionable.
Roids. I'm calling it roids. I don't. That doesn't look natural to me. I mean, you're working out. Maybe. I give him the benefit of the doubt because he's working out. But you can't get the Chris Hemsworth arm. And Chris Hemsworth, I can tell you for sure, has been slipped some steroids. That's low body fat. I don't think you can get that with... Okay, you could have gotten that with roids. But in order to get to this, you need to get off of roids. Because to get that low body fat, you can't.
That's gross.
It is. And in order to do that, you have to do unhealthy dehydrate yourself. Just to the point of you're gonna pass out and die any minute. So that's not very safe. That's one of the other strongmen. He's natural. He's just a big dude.
Yeah.
Wait, did he actually box? Why? Oh yeah.
I mean, if you're a strong man,
they boxed it out because Eddie was accusing him of cheating for his deadlift. Because Eddie Hall was the one that first lifted the 500 kilos, and you can tell by his face and his straining that he actually almost died because he lifted that much weight because he just broke so many blood vessels. So he's like, okay, it looked way too easy for Thor Bjornsson is his name. So he's like, that doesn't look right. Like, you should really be straining. And he trained for probably a year to be able to lift the 500 kilograms. So it's like, oh yeah, that's one of the lifts. You got to hold that out for as long as you can. Out in front of you to work your shoulders. I think it's one of the hardest ones that they have, even though it looks very simple. I don't see any more roids. Anyway.
I see a bunch of roids that you've passed.
Where?
I mean, the go up.
That guy, maybe. These two?
These roids.
Oh. Well, it's the same guy.
No, yeah.
That's the same guy. That's roids. When your nipples start pointing down, you're using roids. Ooh.
Roids.
His pecs are so small, though, for the rest of his body.
Yeah,
It's
but look
weird.
at his shoulders.
Yeah, he's roided out. Yeah, he's definitely roided. I don't understand it.
That could be that's natural.
It can be natural,
That
but that
looks
takes
like
a lot of fucking time to do.
That
That
looks-
no. No. That does not happen naturally, folks. No. Also, his fucking upper arms are so tiny. Look at this shit. He's got tiny little upper arms and he's got these long ass fucking forearms. Dude, you're so disproportionate. Oh, that's probably why it's easier. Maybe he's not on roids. It's just so small that it's bulging.
That's true.
Like, my arms are so fucking long. I could never look like this without roids. Never. Oh, definitely. Oh, wait, no. That might be synthol. That might be synthol.
Yeah.
Why? For fuck's sake, why?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? Dude, it looks like you can't even shit in a toilet anymore. No. Not attractive. It's an addiction. People need to stop you because you're going to die very soon. And in fact, if he's not already dead.
Yeah.
Although that might be CG.
It could be.
It looks like it's been modified a little bit. Natural, I'd say.
Yeah. But
Nope.
also, if you have low body
Nope.
fat,
Nope.
you could look like you're roided out.
That's true. But this guy's no,
Because
that's
I
not
have
natural.
like 2% body fat. So.
That's natural.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's.
Borderline. I know who he is. I don't know if he's taken it, but he's not a strongman anymore, so he doesn't do competition. So whether or not he uses roids, I don't know.
He's flexing though.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can look beefy if you're
Gross.
flexing.
Gross.
I don't think that's roids though.
No. Just gross. Just fucking gross. Guy in the middle. Roids.
Yeah.
On the left, no. On the right, maybe, but hard to tell because he's so big. Guy in the middle, roids. You don't get boobies like that. Those are huge fucking pecs. That
Yeah.
no, you didn't. No. Roids.
Well, yeah.
Roids. Definitely roids. All over. I actually don't know. I don't care. Starts growing a beard. Yeah.
But
Don't do
anyways,
roids, kids. Oh, shit. Hold on.
But
All right. Well, we need to send this off because it's 5 o'clock in the morning.
yep.
Used to be a song that we used to sing back in the day at 5 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, sorry about having the fucking hour stolen away because
Yeah.
copyright strike for 10 seconds of content. Sorry, not our fault. If you have a problem with that, you can take it up with YouTube. I'm sure they will tell you the same thing they probably would tell us. Fuck off. But
Yep.
anyway, if we had the goods to keep you up at night. Have a good night. Kill yourself.
Well.